Hi everyone. I realize it's very early right now, Taiwan time, but I have some time right now. I'm here in Inglewood in LA at a sports bar, and I just wanted to share some thoughts on what happened recently with the KMT Party nomination. And I, it just happened, so I want to take a step back and not talk about what I would like to see happen with this presidential election, because obviously what I would like to see happen is not happening, right? So I think I just want to put what's happening into perspective since 2019, which is that since around mid 2019, the KMT party as a whole is just not behaving well. And I want to explain what I mean by behavior. Um, I think Han Blue supporters expect their party, the KMT party, to behave to like a minimum standard where they're paying some attention to what the general public wants. And like if you go back to like 2008, the 2008 presidential election, Ma Ying-jeou took a tour around Taiwan and he talked to the general public. He lived in very humble conditions, and he made it sound like he cared about the economy and stuff like that. And I would say that he did make some immediate moves. Sorry, it's very noisy here, but just bear with me. Um, let me move. So, um, sorry, it's still pretty noisy over here. Yeah, around mid 2019, when the Hong Kong anti extradition protest started, I noticed that the KMT party started putting out disinformation against their own candidate, Han Guoyu. And I didn't really understand why that was happening. They were saying that he wasn't popular online, which is absolutely not true because, as everyone can see, online, Han Guoyu is the most popular politician in Taiwan, like hands down. Like his videos, any video with him at that time was getting the most views, the most likes, a lot of comments. People were like kind of like obsessed with him in like a almost an unhealthy manner. And so the question is why was the KMT party so like lukewarm towards him, like cold towards him? And now that we're seeing this forced nomination of Ho Yo-yi by a lot of people in the KMT party, um, I strongly suspect that a deal was made in 2019 with the Tsai administration and the U.S. to get rid of not just Han Guoyu, um, but William Lai Ching within the DPP. Like sort of like it was like okay, let the DPP win in 2020, despite the fact that Taiwan support was very, very low at that time in 2019. Her administration had been exposed very badly, and there just wasn't much support for Taiwan at all in 2019. And the Hong Kong protests or Hangori running away from his Kaohsiung city mayor or whatever, that didn't really change her support, right? It just gave people ammunition to attack Hangori with, but that doesn't necessarily translate to support for Tsai Ing-wen, right? And it's just that like the people who disliked Hangori were very vocal about it, but in terms of numbers, it wasn't 8.17 million people. It was like far less than that. It was like half that amount, maybe, or even less. So um, my concern is that the KMT party as a whole is engaging in what I would call unethical behavior, as in like they're no longer standing with the general public. When I first got to Taiwan in 2004, you could say that the KMT party was paying attention to public opinion more. They wanted public support, and it was like the Pan Blue parties and the general public versus the Chen Shui-bian government and the U.S. government that's backing him up. It was like that. So the KMT and PAP parties were, in my opinion, overall worth supporting. Despite their flaws or whatever. But now it's just like Taiwan appears to be moving towards sort of like a dual party US controlled state, where both parties are like just following the agenda of the upstairs people. And it's like, uh, we, if you looked at things superficially in 2020, it just looked like it was going to be like a DPP dictatorship. But there were indications now, I'm noticing now that weren't there before. That I didn't notice before. For example, when they got rid of Zhongtian's license, CTI, they didn't take away Channel 52 from them. Like Channel 52, yeah, it got taken away from them, but the Channel 52 wasn't given to anyone else, right? So that means that, like, what is this 52 doing here? You're like flipping channels and we'll just go from 51 to 53 or 53 to 51, right? So why don't they just give it to someone else if they never want to deal with Zongtian ever again? And then now suddenly, right before the nomination for Hou Yu, they suddenly give it back to Zongtian. And so, like, what do you think that's for? Like, obviously, right now, they appear to be using the same playbook that they had in 2019, which is that they're going to release a lot of opinion polls from all kinds of sources, just saturating us in the mainstream media, basically cable television, that Hou Yu is leading this race. And it's just not true. Like, among Pan Blue supporters, I don't think most Pan Blue people really like Hou Yu that much. A lot of Deep Blue people are well aware of the fact that he's Pan Green, that he's sides with the DPP in the United States, dating back to the 319 incident, and he hasn't supported Zhu Liwen on many issues. And I understand that he gets votes in the new Taipei City election, but he's just not. Um, he's like, I don't know anyone that likes Hou Yu, to be honest. I mean, a few people comment on my channel saying, "Oh, no, he's good, believe him," But it's certainly not the majority of people. I mean, the majority of people like Han Guoyu, and a portion out of those people are willing to support Guo Taiming. Some are like, no, I will never forgive Guo Taiming. But, like, this is what I want to say to the people who only want to support Han Guoyu and not Guo Taiming, is that this isn't just about, like, your personal preference. Like, I understand that people have a strong personal preference towards Han and not Guo Taiming, but we're in it's almost like they don't realize the situation that we're in. It's like, do you want to be like an independent state with self-determination where the president is elected by the people, or do you want to be a US controlled protectorate state? Because if Hou Yu gets into office through election fraud, you might think that benefits you, but the truth is that it doesn't. It doesn't matter if it's KMT or DPP in office. If that president has been appointed by the United States, that's not you voting someone in. That's not someone that needs to listen to you on any issue. Let's think about, like, the pork with the ractopamine. This is something that the U.S. wants. It's not something that people in Taiwan want. Okay, like, do you think Hou Yu, someone who's been appointed by the United States, is going to stop the import of pork with ractopamine in Taiwan if he gets into office? Like, he's been appointed, right? And just like Taiwan was appointed in 2020, right? So we need to be against unelected presidents in Taiwan. It doesn't matter which party it is, because so what if Hou Yu is officially KMT? Like, he's not going to be serving the people's interests. He's not going to listen to the public, right? He's not even. I doubt he'll be even in first place. So I think that his rallies will be just okay, like not like Hangui's rallies. Certainly, like people will go to Hoyu's rallies just to show that there aren't that many people there. I can already foresee that happening, and 19 though will probably get a fair amount of support. The solid pan green support, like 35%, and then there's going to be the third ticket, which is either going to be Ko-Wenza or Guo Taiming pairing up with Ko-Wenza. Now, I don't really want to talk about Guo Taiming and what he should do right now because it just happened and he probably needs some time to figure it out. But the point of this video is that I think that the direction the KMT party is headed in is a very bad direction because Pan Green supporters and Pan Blue supporters aren't really the same if you think about it. Like, Pan Green supporters are accepting of the fact that their party wants and is a U.S. puppet party, right? Because they think it helps them, right? They go like, well, we have to do whatever it takes and not like people like Hangori and Guotami in the office because they're going to sell out our interests and stuff like that. Like, that's all they're thinking about. It's not about what the KMT party is actually doing, it's what the KMT party might do, right? And they're not looking at what the DPP party is actually doing because they're only focused on like one issue. So being a U.S. puppet state, U.S. puppet party is okay with them. If you look at their actions, I mean, granted, none of them are going to write an essay saying, I'd rather be a U.S. puppet party or state than, potentially be sold out to communist China, something like that, right? So, but Ham Blue supporters, aren't really going to be too down with the fact that their party is like a U.S. puppet party, right? Because then it becomes just like the DPP, like there's no reason to support the KMT party if they want to be a U.S. puppet party. Like the Camp Blue supporters want their party to be independent. They want a party that will be in the middle between the United States and mainland China and really put their interests first, right? Not be like just, oh, I got a meeting at the AIT. Look at me. Like if you look at Hoyu's attitude, he's just so proud and cocky, like that's the look of someone who has the government on their side in Taiwan, on his side. He's being backed by Tai and he's being backed by the U.S. That's why he's so sure. He's so proud. And like when that like TPP city councilor was like giving him a hard time, he's just like, whatever, kid. You have no idea like where their true power is in Taiwan. Okay. And I'm saying that like this sort of behavior, this like we don't care about what the public wants, is a really, really bad look for the KMT party. And I don't think that all the individuals in the party, they probably think they can't do anything about it, except maybe a few people will withdraw from the party in protest or something like that. But I just want to point out that, me being an ABC who's lived in Taiwan since 2004, it's been almost 20 years now, and that's just a little less than half my life. And I'm saying that this is a very bad look for the party. One of my Pan Green friends in 2004 said the KMT party doesn't care about the people, and I just didn't really agree with her at that time. It just sounded like a harsh criticism, like, so what, the DPP does care about the people, and then but then now like I do feel that way because it's like I've talked to a lot of like city councilors and for the KMT, I've just like ran into them at events and I'm just talking to them about stuff. I'm like going, oh, how come nothing was done, nothing was said about the election? And then they just said, oh, there's no proof of fraud. I mean, there's tons of evidence of fraud. I mean, statistically and video wise, right? And eyewitness accounts, and it's just like, but you guys just don't care. Like, and I'm saying that the way that this party is behaving is very bad. This is like something. I think that the KMT party as a whole takes their supporters for granted. It's like they think that like, well, they're not going to vote DPP, right? And I'm not suggesting at all that people should vote for 19. I mean, that's that's just personal preference. But like, I think that this is something that the party as a whole forgot about, and they just you can't treat the public like this and not expect a backlash. And so, what should the backlash be? Just like comments on social media criticizing them? I don't think that's going to be enough because I think that they're pretty thick-skinned and they'll still get support from you know some Pan Blue supporters, right? Because some Pan Blue supporters are just thinking like right now, like, oh, we just need to get rid of the DPP. No matter what, we got to get rid of them. And I'm saying that like I don't want the DPP to stay in power either. I don't support Lai Ching-te. Not really against him, but I just, you know, I wouldn't really be that excited if he got into office. And I think that could potentially put Taiwan into further danger if he were to get into office because of the people who are backing him and the stuff that he would be pressured to do. There would be like the possibility for, you know, tensions rising in the strait would definitely be there with him in office. But um, what I'm saying is that the situation with Ho Yo-yi getting into office, it wouldn't necessarily improve the current situation. I mean, like Tsai would like just get away with everything she's done for the past 8 years, and I would imagine her thesis would not be uncovered. The vaccine pricing wouldn't be uncovered, and you know, election fraud. Forget about it. He probably wouldn't win the election. There's a chance that Ho Yo-yi could come in third place in this election because let's say that like Cohen's runs on his own, right? And which I mean just stays home. Like I'm pretty sure that Cohen's will get more support than Ho Yo-yi in this election because the the pamphlet supporters would support Ke before Ho because maybe about like 2/3 of them would vote for Ke one in protest of the canteen to just try to teach them a lesson, and then 1/3 would vote for Ho, right? And if that happened, uh, who would win? It's possible that Kowenza could win the election because he has a lot of support, not just from the Pan Blue voters, but young voters who would, because Ko's taken votes away from DPP also, right? So he could come in first place. So the Ho Yo-yi nomination is actually good news for Kowenza because it makes his party relevant because the KMT party wants to be irrelevant in the eyes of the voters because it's like why is the KMT party not care about election fraud? Is because they know that the Central Election Commission is going to rig the election for them, right? And I'm saying that like I don't think you want to do that. I mean, the KMT party, like you guys are going to get exposed because it's like, I don't know about other people, but if Li Jingyong and the Tsai administration rig that election next year in January for Ho Yo-yi, it's going to be a problem, and I will personally catch it and expose it and speak out against it because like I'm just done with all this. Like I don't care who they cheat, if it's Lai that's winning the election and they cheat him, or if it's Ke, it doesn't matter. Like all I know is that you guys cheated. So like my channel, my principles, I'm not here to help the KMT party get into office. Like if you guys cheat for Ho Yo-yi, that's it. Like it's not gonna get caught just by Pan Blue people, but the like the Pan Green people, they will catch it also. So like I don't even know if this plan is going to work because we've seen this playbook already play out in 2019. Okay. So now they're going to throw out all these fake opinion polls and we're just going to like believe it or not believe it, but who knows? Maybe it won't work. I don't want to make predictions right now, but it, the good thing is that at least some of the pan green media is like kind of pointing out that some things don't really make sense. Like why is Ho Yo-yi's like whole like why is this support so high like in the polls when like people don't really seem to support him that much? It just doesn't make sense. Of course, they didn't say that for Tsai Ing-wen in 2019, but like now they're saying it. So, but Yeah. Well, um, I know this isn't the most encouraging message, but I just think that you know this this is not the path towards success. Like I've said personally directly to some KMT city councilors, like a lot of people are just really disappointed in this party, like the behavior, just the not caring, like it's not your business or whatever. They only care about their own election. Like if it's Hungary, they don't care. But the truth is that the election fraud has continued well past Hungary's period. Like after he got recalled, I thought maybe it would stop, but it hasn't. Okay, and then when let's just take like the Nanto by-election. That election was totally rigged, which I showed on my channel, and they still didn't care. In fact, the legislator that was cheated out of it got mad at the people trying to stop the fraud, saying, "Oh, you guys shouldn't try to influence the outcome of the election like that." Like, no, those people are there to help you. They're there to ensure a fair election, and they actually stood outside these stations and counted the number of voters for 8 hours, and they reported some of that information got back to people like me. So, like, it helped me confirm that that election really was rigged, right? I didn't just use statistical analysis. I used personal eyewitness accounts of people who stood outside those voting stations for 8 hours and did that work. And they're being criticized by the candidate who just got cheated in the election. I mean, this is like we don't want this version of the KMT party that just is like playing this game and working with the DPP behind the scenes and, just being clever. They think they can just not care about what the public wants. And okay, we're not going to support Hungary because he's not our guy. So we're going to let Taiwan do this in 2020, and then we're going to get our own guy in, Ho Yi in 2024. And we know that Tsai will and the U.S. will allow him into office because he's one of them, basically. And like that, basically, it's like the KMT party has essentially given control themselves over to the DPP and the United States, and it's just downright pathetic. And like I think that social media influencers are like somebody important people, like not like me, but like just like people need to speak out against this. Like you guys are not the good guys. Like I can't say that there's much difference between the KMT party and the DPP party anymore in Taiwan. It's just a party that accepts election fraud on behalf of their candidate and just you know acts like it didn't happen, or pretends that election fraud didn't happen when their own people are getting cheated. It's just like it's just not a good look because people care about this kind of stuff, and we want the party to say something when election fraud happens. It shouldn't be us going out there and getting taken away by the police and doing all this volunteer work, while you guys are just like not caring, like so. Um, and yeah, I get it. I understand that there's a great deal of pressure behind the scenes and that there's a lot of money involved, and you know, like that's why this is not a rant against Sherman, Eric Chu, Julie Lin, because I understand that like he had a great deal of pressure behind him, and I don't really want to think too much if he deliberately misled Guo Timing about how the nomination process would go, the date, when it was going to happen, or did he announce it 1 month earlier because didn't want Hoyi's support to go down any further, or like I don't know what happened, but uh, yeah, I'm just saying that like and another thing that's going to happen is that more and more Pan Blue supporters are going to start supporting TPP out of necessity because there's nothing else to support. I mean, you can't expect them to support the DPP. So, at Juan Sansan's rally, I saw like a lot of young people. They were Pan Blue. About 2/3 of the supporters for Juan Sansan were probably Pan Blue supporters because they had ROC flags and stuff like that. And so what's going to happen is at Kerwin's or Guotai and Kerwin's like rallies in the future, you're going to see a lot of ROC flags. It's going to be it's going to look like a pan blue rally, right? And people will do direct comparisons between their rallies and Hoyoi's rallies. And I can assure you that there will be more people at uh, TPP and Terry Gore, or just plain Cohen's. You know, the truth is like I'm not even sure if TPP needs full timing. I mean, it would help, but I think that by if we're looking ahead at like 7 months from now, like Hoyu's support's going to be so low that Cohen's can win the election even without Guo Taiming's help, right? But I think it would be better if they ran as a pair, right? Because a lot of deep blue people will not necessarily fly back to Taiwan to vote for Cohen's, but if there's Guo Taiming in there, like I think more people will do it, right? So, um, yeah. Well, okay. I think I should wrap this up, but just that's my main point is that I hope that the KMT party still has people in it that are aware of this problem. I hope that there will be people in the KMT party that are aware of this problem, and I understand that it's not easy to change or that they may not have the power to do anything. But I'm just saying that, like, you guys are alienating your own supporters by not caring about what, like, we want. And I'm saying that, like, just be careful. It's I don't know. Politicians are kind of like succeed at any cost. And I'm just saying that, like, uh, this is this is you know this is not a good look. And if you guys keep doing this, then you know it's going to permanently damage the reputation of the party in Taiwan amongst its own supporters. Like, you just do not want to nominate someone that's clearly loyal to the other side. It's just that looks terrible. Okay, yeah, and just because then people just start talking about like what's the behind the scenes reason, you know, like what was the deal made with the DPP? What was the deal made with the U.S. and like why aren't you paying attention to your grassroots supporters? So I mean, the Republic of China and Taiwan is it's a direct democracy. So in theory, you're supposed to pay attention directly to what the voters want, right? So, but it just kind of seems like there's a lot of short-term thinking. There's like a money grab. Like, yeah, people don't want to support a party that just wants to do like a money grab, right? I mean, that's how the DPP looks. They're just like do anything it takes to get into power. They do anything to stay in power once they're in power, and it's just you could just see or you just hear about them just like taking money any which way possible. And then now it just seems like the KMT party just feels, well, if they do it, like we can do it, right? So like I'm like, no, this just looks really really bad. I mean, just some of those people who are like supporting Hoyi, like I supported those people like back in 2004, and then now they're all like, oh, Hoyi's the person. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you were back there in 2004 and you knew what Hoyi was doing with the 319 investigation. So what? Now you're just a sellout. You're just like you want to be a part of the money train, right? So it just looks really really bad. And I think that I hope that more people that matter, can speak out against this, because this is just like I don't want. I mean, yeah, I'm saying this right now because I do care about the party, and like I historically, maybe not so much recently, but like this is, yeah, this is just not a good look. So like, I'm not really looking to become a hardcore supporter of TPP or anything like that, but like, you know, it's like I just feel like they're leaving people with no choice, you know. So anyway, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go watch the baseball and the basketball game now. So anyway, have a good day. Bye bye. Yeah, sorry.